If you've been watching or listening for a while, then you'll know how rare this is for me. A movie I can actually recommend. If you would like to submit a question via email, you can send it to whenweunderstandthetext@gmail.com or send a voicemail. Go to WWUTT.com and click on the voicemail tab there in the top right corner of the page. You can record your message through your computer or your smartphone. It'll give you about 90 seconds of record time. And then my wife and I like to respond to a lot of the questions we get on the Friday episode of the podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, look for WWUTT on whatever podcasting app you like to use. I teach through a New Testament book on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then do an Old Testament study on Thursday, and then our Q&A on Friday. I'd like to respond to more questions on the YouTube channel as well. I've never played a voicemail on the channel before, so I'm going to select this one from Ryan, and here is what he asks.
Hello, Pastor Gabe and Becky. This is Ryan, the mailman from Iowa, and I know I keep bugging you about this, Gabe, but have you been able to see A Great Awakening yet? It's just fantastic. It's a compelling, solid, awesome movie, and I really hope you can see it. What better time than this weekend for the 4th of July Independence Day weekend, the big 250th birthday for America. It's a good time for you to watch it during that weekend. And I'd like to hear your review. I don't know if you're going to do one for a Q&A or if you're going to do a Saturday special edition about it. That'd be awesome if you did that. But yeah, it's on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and a few other places. You can also get it, you can buy it on DVD on the Sight and Sound website. And yeah, it'll be just, you guys will thoroughly enjoy it. The gospel is presented very well, and it's compelling, great, awesome movie. So don't want you to miss it. God bless you guys, and happy Independence Day. Go America, 250.
Thank you for your question, Ryan, and also for your patience, because I've been asked about this film ever since it came out over the Easter weekend 2026. Here we are now past July the 4th, and I finally got around to watching A Great Awakening, thanks to a wonderful family in our church who invited us over to watch the film and served us some great pizza as well. A Great Awakening is about the life of George Whitefield, specifically the relationship that he had with Benjamin Franklin and the impact that Whitefield's preaching had on the American colonies prior to the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the drafting of the Constitution. Like Ryan said, the preaching in this movie is tremendous, and the gospel is clearly presented. There was a scene in the film that was my favorite presentation of the gospel, and I tried to record it to play in this video, but my screen recorder wouldn't pick it up. Yeah, copyright and all that kind of a thing. But I did find this clip from YouTube, and this will give you an idea of the kind of preaching that you can hear in this movie, A Great Awakening.
The congregation has grown quite large, presumably in anticipation of our guest speaker, who has excited many of late and created not a little following for himself.
I'm very sorry to see you here, Mr. Whitefield.
So, without further ado...
So is the devil.
The Reverend George Whitefield.
I just your wake, Mr. Whitefield.
In 1675, the Archbishop of Canterbury became acquainted with a certain actor of some renown, Mr. Betterton. One day, the Archbishop said, "Mr. Betterton, pray tell me, how is it that you actors on the stage can so move your audiences whilst speaking of things imaginary, while we, in the pulpit, speak of things real, which our congregations receive as if they were but imaginary things?" "Why, my lord," Mr. Betterton replied, "the answer is quite plain. We actors speak of things imaginary as if they were real, while you, in the pulpit, speak of things real as if they were imaginary. Therefore, I will not be a velvet-mouthed preacher. Do not be deceived! You may have a religious head, and yet have the devil in your heart. Our Lord speaks the same words to you as surely as he spoke them to Nicodemus of old. You must be born again! Nicodemus, respected, religious, renowned as righteous, and still the Master commanded, you must be born again. Like the church at Sardis, he had a reputation for being alive, and yet was dead inside. How many of our congregations are dead because they have dead men preaching to them? How can dead men beget living children? Therefore Christ says to you, because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I'm about to spit you out of my mouth. Do not trust in your good works for salvation, or that your name is written in the church registry. I tell you, there is only one book where your name must be written, and that is the Lamb's Book of Life. Is your name written there? Is it there? Do you know? Come just as you are to Christ.
That is just a small sample of how great the preaching is in this movie. And you get a real sense of the drama there as well. The acting was fantastic. The dialogue, the costuming, all of it is really good. And the gospel is presented so clearly that a person could start the movie not a Christian, and then by the end, they've put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ. There's exhortation that's given to turn from your sin to the Lord Christ, and you will live. Even though this movie is called A Great Awakening, it's not really about the Great Awakening. It's set during that period of revival that happened in the American colonies in the 1700s, but you don't get to hear about some of the other impactful preachers in the Great Awakening period, like, for example, Jonathan Edwards. He's mentioned only by name, but there are some other names there that you would recognize. The movie is told really from the perspective of Benjamin Franklin and the relationship that he had with George Whitefield. Here's another scene where Whitefield and Franklin meet for the first time.
I'm interested in working with you.
Oh, please proceed.
The Pennsylvania Gazette is the leading newspaper in His Majesty's 13 colonies. It would be extremely effective in communicating your whereabouts to ensure the largest crowds possible, and with it, the largest possible offerings.
Well, that is very thoughtful of you. I am endeavoring to raise funds for an orphanage in Georgia.
I'm sure you are. Partnering with me would guarantee the maximum benefit to your cause. And mine.
A match made in heaven.
Or just a deal made in a print shop.
Now, as far as we know, Ben Franklin never became a Christian unless he had some sort of a deathbed conversion, God willing. He spent most of his life as a deist, though he knew the gospel. His father preached it to him and wanted him to become a priest. And of course, he had this great friendship with George Whitefield. The final dialogue in the movie between Franklin and Whitefield was recognizable to me, and I believe a lot of those lines were lifted from a letter that Whitefield wrote to Franklin appealing to him to turn to Christ. Much of the preaching in the movie was taken straight from Whitefield's sermons, and a time or two I heard a line that I've used as a quote from Whitefield in a sermon before. This is a great historical drama. You may have noticed the guy that plays Ben Franklin looks just like him. George Washington is in the movie as well, and some other recognizable names include John and Charles Wesley. Early in the film, we flash back to George Whitefield's early days when he aspired to become an actor, and he went to Oxford to perfect these acting skills. While there, he was invited to become part of a Bible study group known as the Holy Club, and among the men in that group were John Wesley, who was the father of Methodism, and his brother Charles, who wrote such great hymns like "Oh, for a Thousand Tongues to Sing" and "Hark the Herald Angels Sing." Some of my favorite scenes in the film and some of the best doctrine that's shared in the movie is in those scenes with George Whitefield and the Holy Club. Unfortunately, I was not able to record any of those those scenes, so you're just going to have to watch the movie yourself. You can go to Sight and Sound's website, go to sight-sound.com, and they'll show you the different places where the movie is streaming, or you can purchase the DVD. Something else I noticed from their website is they also put on stage shows. And some of those shows are performed in Branson, Missouri. It's been a long time since I've been to Branson, but anytime I'm in the area, I always try to take in a show. If you're nearby, check out Sight and Sound's website because they have Bible stories that they've produced for the stage. When I was watching the movie, I thought this would make a great stage show, but I don't see A Great Awakening listed in the live performances that Sight and Sound put on. Maybe they will adapt it later. In the meantime, it is my honor to be able to recommend this movie to you, and I hope that it is a blessing. In one of my favorite scenes, Whitefield is with the Holy Club as they are in a prison witnessing to the prisoners there. And Whitefield opens up a Bible and begins to read from John 3 to the prisoners. And of course, it's right there in John 3 that we hear that wonderful presentation of the gospel that you know is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish under the judgment of God that we all deserve because of our sin, but we will be saved by faith in Jesus and have everlasting life. That is the message of Great Awakening that we all need when we understand the text.